The next bow is called the wire loop bow or the classic florist bow. And usually students either have a really terrible time making the bottom bow and a really easy time making the wire loop bow. And they say, why didn't you tell us how to do that one first? It's so much easier. My answer is if I showed you the easy way first, you'd never try the hard way. Or maybe I'm just like trying to give you a hard time. You know better than that. So, but some kids do find the middle bow easier than the wire loop bow. So it's really just one of those things. Different people's brains and hands work differently together, and things that are easy for some people aren't easy for others, and vice versa. So we did the bottom bow first. Chances are, for most of you, that one was really tough, and maybe you threw it on the floor and just gave up. I totally get that. It took me a long time to be able to master that, and I kind of dread doing it every time I have to do it. So this wire loop bow tends to be easier for most people. And if you were out in the greenhouse at Christmas time, you learned how to do this to make our Christmas wreath bows. It looks really nice with the big, fat, juicy number 9 or number 40 ribbon as well. So you're going to take your ribbon and you're going to hold a tail with the shiny side up between your thumb and forefingers. I put it in my left hand because I'm right-handed. I'm going to take a thin, my thinnest, longest piece of wire, and I am going to make a short handle with a 90-degree angle. So I've got this big, long end of wire and this short handle. And I'm going to put it underneath my thumb and forefinger. I'm going to make a loop and pinch it between my thumb and forefinger. And I've got that tail hanging down in the front. See the tail? And now I'm going to clutch wire this. Remember clutch wiring? I'm going to pinch my ribbon together and I'm going to clutch wire it. I'm going to wrap it around just one time. See, I can let go just with one time wrapped around. I can let go of that loop. So now I'm going to make another loop behind this one, same size. This bow won't have a center loop, and I'm going to clutch wire it and pull it really tight. Remember how tight we pulled them so they pinch together in the middle? And I'm going to make I'm going to make 5 loops. I think we've talked about the fact that odd numbers are always more interesting in design than even numbers, because with even numbers, your brain tends to split things right in half, and just then you see one side and the other. But if you have an odd number, your brain can't do that. It has a tendency to look at the entire thing. So there's my 3rd loop. So I'm just going to make sure the shiny side is up, lift, make a loop, take that wire and clutch. One clutch each time. I get to my 5th loop here. I can kind of direct where I want that last loop to go. But because it is wired, I am going to be able to move things around a little bit. I haven't cut my ribbon yet, but I'm loosening up some more. Here's my last loop, number 5. And this time I am going to take one more clutch and just pull the whole thing together. So you can see I have a long leftover piece of wire and my short little piece of wire. So I'm going to cut with my pruning shears. I'm going to cut that wire shorter. And then I'm going to take my no plant scissors, and now I'm going to cut my bow. So what you're going to do next is you're going to pull those tails forward, and you're going to bend it forward with your fingers. You have to kind of really maneuver this a little bit and fluff it. And now you're going to have a stump in the back where your mechanics are, pulling those tails forward, and you're going to pinch that together. Now you're going to tape that whole thing. You're going to tape all your mechanics in the back with your tails forward. Oops, that didn't work for me. Start over. Pull it together, pull it forward. That tape had gotten a little bit dusty, I think. I'm going to do that again. It's okay to catch the bottom of those tails to make sure that it goes all the way around. There we go. Need a little bit more tape. You know, the goal is to use as little mechanics as possible, but sometimes you do need to just go back and retape it a little bit. So now I've got my This is my wire loop bow. To be honest, I'm not super excited about how this one came out, but when we use it in our corsage, it'll look really nice. We can tip it like this and tuck it under the flowers. So now you should have 4 bows. Top bow, middle bow, bottom bow, and wire loop bow. So hang on to them, set them aside, don't get rid of them because we're going to use them in our next project.